Thank you, and it is my fault that we're starting right on time because unfortunately I have to leave, but I couldn't say no because I love this event. I have been watching whenever I could. I have watched the last Big East Pirate speech with the team who won last year, presenting and competing with all the Big East schools on ideas. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but it was a great competition nevertheless. I have to leave because, like you, I'm a student and I have to go to class and give a presentation today. So I'm pretty worried about that. But one thing that I wanted to share with you before you start this wonderful evening engaging with the judges and engaging in your presentation and getting feedback from the judges and the audience, I was reminded just a couple of hours ago about the Servant Leadership Award, and we had a speaker, Dr. Andy Simon, who teaches in our Department of Psychology, explain what servant leadership is. And he defined it as a continuous seeking the growth and well-being of others. And that made me reflect on the type of presentations that I've been seeing here at Seton Hall in the last 5 years that I've been here. What is so distinctive about this community is that every time you present an idea and you try to build something together, it's always for the good of others. It's not just what problem am I facing today and how I make money. I think there are other schools that focus so much about making money, but I know that our judges will remind us that we also have to have a financial sustainability. But at the end of the day, for the students at Seton Hall, it's about making meaning. So I thank you for that, for your courage, resilience, and I wish you an incredible evening, and it is my honor to introduce your dean, Joyce Strasser. Thank you.
We're giving you an A. So welcome, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here with you tonight and a thrill to formally open up our 15th annual Pirates Pitch Competition. So congratulations in advance to all of you for getting here. This is a big moment, and I'm so delighted to be here to celebrate with you. You know, for me, this is the perfect realization of the Stillman School's mission goal of transforming concepts into business practice. So the whole idea of entrepreneurship really encapsulates that. But beyond that, what we know is that no matter what you're going to do, having this entrepreneurial mindset, particularly in today's business world, and just in the world generally, where things are changing by the second, that is a skill, that entrepreneurial mindset, that is going to transform whatever you do all across whatever walk of life, whatever industry, whatever professional challenges you have. So we're very excited about having more students embrace that and embrace wanting to learn more about being an entrepreneur. So our judges are going to be formally recognized in just a couple of minutes, but I just want to say personally thank you to all of them, and I know we've still got Brian on the way. He can feel my vibes of thanking him, but you give a lot, not only our judges, but also I want to thank the members of our advisory board for the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship for the support that they've given us, not just for our program, but for this particular event as well. And I also want to thank the people who are behind the scenes helping make sure that this event runs smoothly. All of our folks at Stillman, but also colleagues across the way in PR and marketing and IT, and everybody who had a hand in bringing us all together tonight to celebrate the achievements of these very talented students who will be presenting. And of course, I have to conclude with a big thank you to no one other than Susan Sherrick, who is really the driving force behind this wonderful, yes, Susan? Okay. As I said, Susan's the driving force behind this program and all the great things that come from it. And we so appreciate, Susan, your hard work, your vision, and most importantly, your mentoring of all these talented students. And speaking of talented students, this evening we're going to have students as MCs. So I have the privilege of being able to introduce them to you first, and they'll come up later and lead their parts of the event tonight. But let me start, first of all, with Julia. Julia Haynes is a senior studying both entrepreneurship and accounting, yay, accounting, and a member, yes, my favorite, member of our Buscino Leadership Institute. And we are delighted that Julia plans to continue with us and study her MBA, take on the Graduate School Challenge starting in the fall. So she will be kicking us off tonight. Then we have Anthony Torres, who's a senior studying entrepreneurship and management, and the founder of a startup called Rawkicks, which sells hard-to-find Nikes and other collectible footwear. I'm not going to tell my sons or my husband about this company because I know that's where all our money would go then. So thank you, Anthony, for being here with us. Then we have Angelina Carlisle, who also operates her own. I should have asked you all to stand up. I'm going to do that. Julia, stand up. Okay, Anthony, stand up. Thank you, thank you. All right, so Angelina, please stand up. All right. So Angelina also operates her own startup. This one's called Madfish Pool Services. I love that name. She's a senior studying IT management and a member of the Entrepreneurship Club e-board. And then finally, Brianna Lopez Seguencia. Brianna, please stand up. She is a senior majoring in marketing who is developing a digital marketing business to assist restaurants and delis. So a very talented group of MCs that we have here, and I will invite Julia now to come up and kick it off for us. So everybody have a wonderful time and good luck to all.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Shark Tank, Seton Hall style. Tonight, you, our audience, are going to participate in the entrepreneurial journey of several Seton Hall students as they pursue the dream many of us students have, to start our own business. You will hear and see some of the best startup ideas from both undergraduate and graduate students at the Stillman School of Business. The stakes are lofty. 6 finalist teams are seeking $16,000 in startup funding prizes to be awarded by our distinguished judges, all entrepreneurs. They will be introduced shortly. They are also eagerly waiting for our students to hear what they have to say. The road to the startup finals began in January when the students throughout the university were invited to a series of skills workshops to help them prepare for the qualifying round. A total of 18 student teams took the next step and submitted executive summaries to their startup concepts. With assistance from the alumni entrepreneurs, the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship narrowed that field to the 6 top entrepreneurs who are here with us tonight. Over the past month, these student entrepreneurs have met with faculty and alumni mentors to assist them. They also submitted business plans to the judges in advance for this evening's event. I'd also like to recognize our sponsor, the law firm Outside General Counsel Solutions. Big thanks to our attorneys, Chris Santamassimo and Tony Davis, and their staff for providing legal assistance to our Pirates Pitch finalists. Now I'd like to ask Angelina Carlisle to come to the podium to introduce our judges.
Welcome, everyone. I'm honored to be here this evening to introduce our prestigious panel of judges. Brian Jakovich graduated from the Stillman School of Business in 2009 and is the founder, CEO, and owner of Fusion Health, the largest healthcare software company for departments of corrections in the United States, where their software manages the patient care of over 300,000 patients each day. Headquartered in Woodbridge, New Jersey, Fusion employs more than 150 people throughout the country. Brian won an Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year award for New Jersey in 2020. Fusion Health has been listed on the INC 5000 as one of the fastest growing private companies in the country and the 8th fastest growing private business in New Jersey by NJ Biz. Brian started one of his first businesses at Seton Hall when he was president of the Entrepreneurship Club. Today, Brian is chair of the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship's Advisory Board and was inducted to the university's Entrepreneur Hall of Fame in 2021. Welcome you, Brian. Shannon Morris earned a bachelor's in communications and public relations and a master's in marketing and corporate communications from Seton Hall University. While an undergraduate at the Hall, she was captain of the swim team and a two-time Big East academic All-American. After graduating, she spent several years in corporate marketing at leading organizations such as Fuji Electric Corp of America, Prudential, and Home Box Office before making the leap to entrepreneurship. She is founder and managing partner of Tent Collective, an advertising agency, and for the founder of The Whistle Company, a marketing accelerator that helps brands to scale. Shannon was formerly CEO of the Sigma Group, an advertising agency, and in 2013, Shannon was introduced to the Seton Hall University Entrepreneurship Hall of Fame. We welcome you. Gambino Roche and his twin brother, Stephen, founded Sapphire, an innovative and disruptive fintech venture in 2017. Sapphire's key to success is a patent-approved AI technology that digitizes and speeds the pre-trading space while providing trading and post-trade benefits for financial institutions at the same time. The company, which holds more than 100 patents, has dramatically increased the efficiency of back-office operations that formerly were accomplished with faxes, emails, phone calls, and spreadsheets. Clients and investors include J.P. Morgan and BlackRock. Gambino is a first-generation American who credits much of his entrepreneurship passion and drive to growing up in an entrepreneurial family of Cuban immigrants. Gambino studied business technology at Seton Hall and is a member of the Center in Innovation of Entrepreneurship's Board of Advisors. Gambino was inducted to the Seton Hall University Hall of Fame in 2023, and we welcome you, Gambino. Next up, we have Karina Castanga, is a first-generation college student and two-time alumni of Seton Hall, earning high honors with her bachelor's and MPA degree. The unique composition of interdisciplinary studies, including communications, Catholic studies, and business from her undergraduate degree, and a concentration in nonprofit management from her graduate degree, allows her to critically think, apply, and act in numerous scenarios. During her time as a student, she represented Seton Hall for the annual CFA Research Challenge. Her team placed in the Final Four. She also served as the VP of Membership for Women in Business and continues to serve the SHU community as a council member of the Young Alumni Council. Post-graduation, Karina started a business, Pesto Joe LLC, in memory of her father, who unexpectedly passed during her time as a graduate student. In June 2022, Karina joined the Pirate Launchpad Accelerator Program when she was awarded seed funding and has continued to grow and expand Pesto Joe. Karina is a member of the Young Alumni Council and a frequent guest lecturer in the entrepreneurship classes. She received the Seton Hall Young Alumni Award in 2024. Welcome, Karina. Justin Eichen graduated from the Stillman School in 2017 with a degree in mathematical finance. He embarked on a successful career in global finance before becoming an entrepreneur. Justin is the CEO and co-founder of Enora, a tech startup that is revolutionizing finance by developing tools that eliminate complexity and accelerate data-driven decisions using machine learning and AI. Enora's mission is to enhance competitiveness in financial trade, focus on data analytics, marketplace solutions, and ESG banking. Previously, Justin was CEO and founder of QNTM Labs, a pharmaceutical company specializing in a molecule laboratory testing. His work at QNTM Labs has led to his recognition on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list in 2022 and a nomination for the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2023. Eichen, who lives in Sweden, received the Seton Hall University Emerging Entrepreneur Award in 2024. He is a member of the CIE Board of Advisors. Welcome, Justin. So judges, you have a tough job ahead of you this evening, and I would now like to ask Anthony Torres to come to the podium and provide a rundown of this evening's format and procedures.
All right, thank you, Angelina. So I'm gonna go over how this is gonna work a little bit. So each of the finalists are gonna have 7 minutes to make a pitch, and from then the judges will have 5 minutes to ask questions. The first place prize is gonna get $8,000, the second place prize gets $4,500, and the third place prize gets $3,000. So the judges will be looking for creative and innovative thinking about new markets, products, and services. Also important is that the teams will be judged on their perceived ability to execute their concepts and turn them into sustainable businesses. The funding prizes are awarded from CIE's Venture Fund Endowment. Each team finalist also has the option to participate in the Pirates Launchpad program this summer, and they will receive $2,000 in seed funding to further their startup business. After the presentations are completed, the judges will leave the stage to deliberate. We will then hold the Audience Choice Award, and that's where we will announce the winner of the $500 Audience Choice Award. And along with that, and at the end of the competition, we'll announce the other winners. All the finalists and judges should note that when you have 1 minute remaining, either the pitch presenter or the Q&A sessions, the student MCs are gonna hold up a sign that says 1 minute, and that'll be indicating that you have 1 minute left, so just keep that in mind when you're presenting. Now I'd like to ask Brianna to come to the podium and introduce our first contestants.
Alrighty, thank you, Anthony. All right, so please join me in welcoming our first finalist team, Jordan Rabadi, Michaela Salib, and Lena New-Erin in their startup concept, Shoulder Me. Jordan and Michaela are members of the Buccino Leadership Institute, and Shoulder Me was in part developed as a leadership program project. Lena is a junior and a finance major. Team, anytime that you're ready, you could begin your pitch, and you have 7 minutes for your presentation. So you guys could come up and get started. And I wish you the best of luck.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out. It's a pleasure to have you all here today. My name's Jordan Rabadi.
I'm Michaela Salib.
And I'm Lena New-Erin.
And tonight we're going to be presenting you our application, Shoulder Me Mental Health iOS. Let us begin. Mental health, we all know, is just a massive problem. We're all college students here. We see it within our friends. We see it within our workplace. We see it probably within ourselves at some point in time. And it's a national issue, but one of the biggest problems that exist is how it doesn't look at specific industries. There's people whom are left behind. And one of the biggest groups that are left behind is law enforcement. Police officer suicide rate is 150 to 200 deaths per year, according to the NIH. And that's only the ones that we know about. They experience depression at nearly double the rate of the general population. Whether it be them working 12-hour shifts, whether it be them seeing a child abuse, whether them seeing this whole host of egregious situations that they do for our behalf, but they're not given the resources for their own health. We attended a summit at January, and this lady, a therapist, came up to me and she started talking and talked to me about her husband, who was a police officer, and he used to come home every day drained, hurt, and he didn't have an outlet to talk to. And then he committed suicide a few years later. And what she told me was this. She said if something like this existed where he can have someone to talk to judgment-free whenever he needed, maybe he'd still be here with us today. And that's what Shoulder Me is meant to solve. According to our research, The Friend, it's a major chatbot that exists. 30 to 35% reduction in anxiety levels for people. I know there's a lot of concern around AI and all of that, but it is proven to work if used properly. Now, what did we do? Companion is a generative learning model. So it will learn, it grows, and is your AI model. But it is trained for police officer specific situations. What Companion's able to do is not just be a general prompt that's able to go, are you scared today? Are you sad X, Y, and Z? No. It's trained to address those situations. You discharge your weapon for the first time. Traumatic experience. It has trainings just for that. It addresses the root problems of an issue. But what's great about it is it's not just for police officers. Any documentation for any industry can be used to build a specialized chatbot just for them. And the benefit, it's affordable. As you'll see later on down in our profit slide, it's much cheaper and much better product value than any other bots that exist who are general bots and we're specific. And it's 24/7 access and use. That's the biggest problem that I think we have here, right? We have to go to therapists, you meet with them once, twice, maybe 3 times a week if you're lucky. But this, whether it be 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you're on your hardest shift, or 2 a.m. in the morning when you just feel like the world is surrounding you, Companion's there for you, and it's trained just for your situations. And that is what it's there meant to solve, and the gap that it's meant to fill.
Next, I'll be talking a little bit about us compared to our competitors. So our biggest competitor right now would be Woebot. And with Woebot, they use a lot of generic, untailored, not industry-based guidance and data within their bots. So what this can do is it can lead to a lot of misinterpretation of what the users are saying because it doesn't have enough data and knowledge specific to the words or phrases that they're using, as well as it can have a lot of repetitive conversations, and it's not very authentic, and it's not as useful as people need it to be. So for us, we have industry-focused data. So whatever industry that will be using our product, for example, the police force, they'll have specific data that will be put into the bot, and it will give them some data, some responses that is best tailored for them. And also with our dynamic generative model, this will allow our product to be flexible and to be able to be used for a variety of different industries that I'll talk about next. So the current market, we estimate that it's about almost $7.5 billion that is being put into the mental health market right now. And in 2033, it's expected to grow to almost $21 billion. So clearly there is a need and a market for our product to succeed and to be used. The current gaps that we see is there is a lack of user engagement. The users that are clicking onto these apps aren't staying, and we want to have a solution that can make them more engaged. And also they're very expensive to use, and when we go over our financial model, we'll explain how it's more affordable. Demographics, we are targeting professional fields that experience a lot of trauma and high stress situations. For example, we're currently working with the police force. We hope to expand to the military. We hope to expand to the medical field for doctors and nurses, and hopefully even professional athletes as well when they're under these high stress situations. So our growth scalability. Right now, like I said, we're working with the police force. So we want to work with the New Jersey district, state government, and unions. In 2026, we hope to move into healthcare. And then in 2027, we hope to move with professional athletes.
Now, for our finances, we have a profit model. We have 3 different plans. Now, the first plan is just the chatbot. This is $35, and there is a minimum of 20 users. The second plan is the chatbot, calendar, task manager, and the journal. This goes for about $50. So it comes with the chatbot and all of the other external features. And the third is actually an add-on. So this is for organizations to get a positive report on how their users are doing and using the app. This goes for an extra $20 per month, and this is available for both plans. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We look forward to comments and questions, and we look forward to also seeing our other competitors.
Thank you, guys. I guess the one question I have is, what kind of safeguards do you have in place for perhaps advice that's being given by the AI bot that in that case might be dangerous? Or on the flip side, what's your escalation policy if something urgent is happening with one of your users?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. No matter where you go in AI, safeguard, safeguard, safeguard regulation, right? So that's what we do is we work with the mental health department of the organization. For example, we plan on working with precincts and police unions, which we've already spoken to. The system by that works is they have a mental health department. They have documentation needs and things of that nature, and they work with us to build the type of bot which they envision. Thereby, they can see what it is, they can see what's put in there, and it's advice up to their standard. Thereby, it's always under their regulation umbrella. And if you see some kind of escalation situation, for example, someone may say, I want to harm myself, or something of that nature, the bot has an API, whereas there's certain trigger words, like, I want to harm myself, or I feel like I'm going to harm somebody, and it flags it immediately. It gives a list of hotlines to all the mental health hotlines, and you have to click one of them before it goes away for you. So you are prompted in every possible way to do it, and your organization, whichever purchases you, will be aware of that, and will follow up with their mental health department to make sure their employee is okay.
Great job, guys. One quick question, just being in the health tech space and understand telepsychiatry, telemedicine, a lot of that has to do with credentialing of the actual physicians and clinicians in the respective states. So when we talk about scale, I'm just looking at Wobot, haven't heard of it, but it seems like they're not even off the ground yet. It seems like they're kind of taking, like, are you interested lists. So are you guys ahead of the curve? What have you guys thought about regarding credentialing? What you just said before about working with your partner agencies and what they want to approve for the AI bots is, that part was a little bit of an addition for me, but where are you guys at with that?
Sure, yeah. So starting with accreditation, right, that's a big thing. We work with the Mental Association of New Jersey and with the Mental Association of America. So they help us with their therapists, their credentials, and their physicians who give us advice and keep on working with us. And as we say with the police force, for example, we work with their mental health professionals. So that is done with the accreditation that we have with it's brought by psychiatrics and professionals there. Again, it's not just us three looking something on Google, right? That's concerning, but it's under that. Wobot itself is a very interesting one. It was on 60 Minutes, and they've already started to work with organizations. You can't just buy it off the website. Rather, you have to have a ready premium service for it. So it already exists. But the problem with Wobot, Friend, Abby, they're very similar ones that exist out there, is they're very general compared to us, right? So it's prompt, answer, prompt, answer. So that's what makes us different in that sense, because no bot that exists right now is industry focused, and just for that. Rather, it's just for your depression or whatever. And that's what we're there to solve, which doesn't exist yet.
So I didn't say accreditation, I said more so credentialing. So for example, physicians, clinicians, they need to be credentialed per state in order to provide the advice.
Sure, yeah, 100%. So that's why we work with MHA. They have, again, they're the national, they have over 40, 50,000 across all 50 states. So they provide us support and training within each state as we grow. And then as we grow with each one, we want to build more networks, which there have been therapists very open to working with us and speaking to us no matter where we've been every summit. So I think it's very possible.
Yeah, great pitch, guys. It's very relevant, very interesting space, and definitely one that I can definitely get behind from a moral perspective. Definitely a lot of need for it. My question is more on the commercial side of things. So if you could talk a little bit more about the commercial traction. Do you guys have users? What does that user look like? You said you're working with some of the agencies already, or some of the police forces already. What does that look like? And if it's on a beta basis, how many users do you have? What's the feedback been? If you could talk a little bit about that, that'd be great.
Wonderful question. Yeah. So right now we're working with the police union. Right now, personally, we're going to focus on precincts, so probably Parsippany Precinct, where I'm from, in the Morris County area. And we've already begun building trial bots for that. We are still in the process of completing the trial bot, but we've had their mental health department come to us and help work with us and given us their feedback on what we've had. And what we have so far, what they've given us, has been overwhelmingly good, thankfully, but as well, they've had complaints and concerns and so forth, but we've addressed those, right? That's the beauty of working with organizations like them and have our model with building with organizations, not just us, is that they have the access to the resources and the bot's built for them. So they understand it, and it looks like to them the need is for them, for their police officers. So the commercial side with them does exist, and we're looking to expand that. The further we get into developing it, then we can actually go and transmit it to them.
Got it, great, thanks.
I was wondering if I was a police officer and I needed to use it,
and I opened it, would it be similar to a chat GPT prompt where automatically it sends me a message as a daily check-in? What does the modality look like when a police officer logs on and visually sees it?
Yeah, sure. So Companion is just, it's your bot, and you can customize it. It's a little blue little icon, kind of like Wall-E, you know? So you go and you click it, it opens, it says, hi, how was your day today? And then it's the conversation's going to flow from there. It's going to originally kind of prompt you, like, okay, tell me about your day, things of that nature to build it up, right? Because it's hard for someone to go and just say, I had a rough day. You know, it's not easy for that. But it's to build you there and get you to recognize your own problem and help you fix along the way. So that's how it's kind of going to look through it. And then throughout, it's going to ask you check-ins, especially at the end of the month. We have a place where it's going to give you a report. It's going to kind of aggregate the data of how you're doing and see if you've improved over time, had better days, bad days, so you can see if you're improving and have that aggregate report for yourself to know where you are.
Thank you.
I'll be quick because we're almost out of time, but I'm going to say phenomenal presentation skills, the energy, all of you, but especially yourself, and the competency is there. You definitely know your stats and you know how to answer. So that goes well for you no matter what. I'm just going to tell you that out of the box. What I'm concerned with a little bit is, one, it would be nice to see a prototype, even if it was a slideshow, just to show the user experience. That doesn't take much, just to address some of the concerns here. That could have saved you some time, but you already answered it verbally. I could see that you designed it in your head, so that's really good. Again, competency matters. You did the push-ups. My thing is the adoption plan. Your pricing point, in my humble opinion, I'm not an expert in your field, it sounds like, but it's not going to let you attract the customers. You have to build a network first. There's the police unions and whatnot. You talked about all these organizations. I do think you have to look at a freemium model to begin with to build a core set of folks. So then it becomes irresistible for the subscription fee once you have the product up and running. How are you planning to do that? That's critical.
Sure. So I should have addressed that, and thank you for bringing it up. That's a great point. One of the things is exactly how do you get someone to trust something? You know, I'm just telling you, charging $35 by the bot. Obviously, who would do that? So to each organization, we provide a 1-month free trial where the users have limited access, limited conversations to the bot, right? So they can learn, they can get accustomed to it. And from there, they can go and grow bigger. So obviously, they have a chance to try it. And we believe in our product. We believe in what we've designed so that the bot will become a tool for them, and they will recognize each of the value that the bot will provide. So that's what we want to kind of build in it. And then you start with one precinct, right? You give them the free trial, they like it, you go one, more, and you expand hopefully into different industries, because this bot is that versatile where you can go anywhere it can work. But we want to start in police. That's the first place.
Yeah. I just think that's going to take longer than a month, but we can talk offline. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you all.
All right. So one last big thank you to our judges and to Shoulder Me. Okay, so now for our second finalist, we have Tania Stokes. She is an MBA student who is pitching DigiRookie, which is a digital marketing learning platform designed to simplify online marketing for entrepreneurs, particularly women entrepreneurs and faith-based brands. Tania, you could start anytime that you're ready. All right. Good luck.
I'm gonna move this out the way. Thank you. Oh no, it's fine, I'm here. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Tania Stokes. I'm the founder of DigiRookie, which is a marketing platform that is focused on helping small business owners, nonprofit, and faith-based brands stop feeling lost online and start executing with confidence, clarity, and results. So what do we stand for? So DigiRookie is not just a business, it's a movement. We exist for founders who are excited about their purpose, but they're overwhelmed with the marketing. We start with working with digital beginners, people who don't know how to market anything, and we turn them into experts, being able to execute their own marketing campaigns and strategies. We don't just teach marketing, we empower them to want to actually do it. So you're probably wondering, what makes me qualified to even launch a business like this? So my background. So I have a background in marketing, I have a background in finance, as well as being a digital strategist. So I worked with small agencies as well as global agencies, helping them both with finance and coming up with marketing campaigns along the way. So why should DigiRookie even exist? Well, 1 in 4 businesses in the United States fail within their first year of launching their business. And one of the reasons why is because 47% of these business owners are actually doing their own marketing campaigns without any knowledge of what to do and no clear strategy. So what we're going to do is basically help them figure out how can we solve this problem. And a lot of times, one of the reasons why they aren't able to solve these problems is the lack of funding. So a lot of agencies have to pay for agencies, and from there, it costs us from $2,000 to $5,000 a month. And if you're starting a business, as we all are in the room, you don't even have the funding to do that monthly. So here's the solution. The solution is us. So with our marketing, we will teach you how to make it feel doable, make it understanding, as well as empowering. And we'll do this by self-paced courses, live coaching and strategy sessions, as well as develop a community for you to be a part of so you're not dealing with this by yourself. And also provide flexible learning, whether you do it yourself or we do it for you. So who's our target market? Our target market is small business owners, entrepreneurs, nonprofit, and faith-based brands. There are over 30 million small businesses in the United States, and the e-learning industry is projected to be worth $400 billion by 2026. So we're bridging the gap and addressing all issues by working with small businesses to help them learn marketing. So how is DigiRookie different from any other type of agency that teaches marketing and also provides the services? So a lot of platforms like Udemy will offer a platform with content, but they won't give you coaching. And then you have the marketing agencies that do the services for you, but if one day you can't afford it, where do you go now? So what we're going to do is provide affordable options, hands-on, and focus on teaching you the problem, which is your marketing, and allowing you to feel empowered to do it. So think of it this way. Marketing agencies serve you, but DigiRookie will teach you how to serve yourself, thus making you save money and spend less time. So how are we going to fund our business? How are we going to make revenue? So there's 3 ways, and this addresses every customer journey that would encounter when it comes to marketing. So $30 monthly memberships, which will be reoccurring, also offering digital products, workshops, as well as coaching, and then last but not least is do-it-for-you services. So this addresses every customer journey. If you would like to learn or push your employee to learn, you'll do the $30 model. If you would like to learn a specific topic, such as lead generation, and that's it, you'll be able to do the coaching or purchase our digital products. And if you're a founder and you want nothing to do with it at all, then you can go into the agency world with us. So I just wanted to give you guys an example of our impact. So we had a client, and it was New Hope ETC, which is a nonprofit organization that helps underdeserved kids in the city of Jersey City. And they wanted to they received funding to give out meals every day to kids in Jersey City. And they had no digital presence. They didn't even know how to put it out there. They actually had a small number of followers on their social page, but they knew that digital had power. So what we did was we created their campaign. We help them launch digitally, we design their flyers, provide content, and we expand their outreach. And in just 90 days, we were able to provide 27,000 meals to over 600 children and families, as well as develop 3 new permanent partnerships within their organization. So how will we attract the customers? So our go-to market strategy is both online and offline. We would do online webinar lead magnets and digital funding, such as advertisements. We would also do offline by providing flyers and other materials within community areas. And we'll go attend networking events where our audience is, as well as do local partnerships. So I'm a team of 1 right now, but I do have a team of advisors, and each advisor addresses different issues that is needed within the launching of our business. So the first advisor is Shakira Green. She is a Senior Vice President of Business Consultant at JP Morgan. So she helps with scaling and funding. Then there's Alonzo Perry Jr., who's a director at Verizon, and he's able to help me develop a digital experience and develop the product. And then there's also Dr. Dawn Tyler, who specializes in curriculum instruction, helping me create education that is accessible and sound. So how are we going to use the funding? We're going to use it to platform development and tools, outreach and marketing tools such as purchasing equipment, doing the webinars, and as well as operations and community support. So here's our goals. So Q2 and Q1, we're going to focus on hosting our first event, which is actually in May. And then from there, we're going to acquire 50 users, release digital products lines, and expand our strategic partnerships, and as well as address, eventually through 2026, we expect to have $25K in revenue. So I leave you guys with this. DigiRookie isn't just a business, it's a chance to build confidence, visibility, and empowerment. Thank you.
I love the confidence, by the way, and the experience, and thank you for sharing samples of the experience that you put together. Actually, I have no doubts about the capabilities. My concern is really scalability. And you had a very ambitious set of clients that you were going out to, but at least you had the one not-for-profit that you shared. I'd be interested in hearing from you, how do you plan on templatizing some of that work, and then having more use cases where you help handhold these firms? Because I used to do consulting. This is a little bit of consulting while you're trying to create an automated platform. And you're going to need a few testimonials, significant ones, to get you the brand recognition for the platform you're building. So can you walk us through just briefly about how you would, I would advise to target one, since you have the not-for-profit, how would you templatize that in a meaningful way so the audience can understand, and then bring faith to potential investors to that you're going to build a scalable business?
Okay. So for an example would be like a marketing 101 workshop where I teach you the power of focusing on one platform and meeting where your audience is. So if your audience is on LinkedIn, then you specialize in LinkedIn. If your audience is on just browsing Google, then you specialize in browsing Google. So in that workshop, I would teach you how to build content based on that particular platform and what meaningful content will turn into conversions.
I also wanted to compliment you on the layout of your business plan. I very much enjoyed it, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so my question for you is, as a rising entrepreneur, a lot of scrappy decisions need to be made, especially when you're by yourself or with a small team. And so what I'm interested in is, on the problem, it was a matter of small businesses managing their own marketing, and it seems as if this company is focusing more on the education, not necessarily on the management. So if you could just clarify a little bit on the problem that you're trying to solve. Are you trying to aid an entrepreneur? Like, if I was to hire you today, do you take care of all of my management needs under your done-for-you service, or are you interested solely in the entrepreneurs that are capable of holding their own advertisement in-house, but just need some information to start it up?
Yeah, so the main purpose of it is to become a hub. So it's like when you don't, I know like when we start businesses, you have your strong suit, but then you have areas where you're not. So if your area is marketing, then I would like for DigiRookie to be that hub that you go to. So whether you have the money to provide those do-for-you services, then so be it. But if you can only just invest 30 minutes an hour to a day to learn, then you have the courses. But if you know that advertising is something that you need, then we have a boot camp that we offer for you to just learn that particular skill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the pitch. It was very interesting, and I think I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I heard this in the semifinalist pitch. So I do love the business. I think it's very relevant and super applicable to the market, especially for small companies and rising companies. It's marketing costs from agencies, and I'd say I think the agency cost that you gave might even be too low.
It is very low.
I mean, it's extremely expensive to work with some of the big box agencies, and that's if they even give you the time of day to potentially engage. That being said, how have you established, if you could just talk a little bit about the pricing that you have established, and how do you ensure that that does lead to a sustainable business operation? Because there's a reason why these agencies have such high pricing models, because again, a lot of the work is outsourced, and it seems like that's what you'll also be forced to do. How have you kind of gone about establishing the pricing, and is that something that you'll evolve, or is that something that you'll grow the business with, or what's been the feedback so far?
So I would say that the main focus right now would be teaching these small business owners how to do it, because I think that's more important, because a lot of times people, like you said before, I work for one of the big 4 agencies and their prices are crazy. So if you're starting out, you're not going to be able to afford even $2,000 a month. So I think the focus is to providing a space for someone that can probably throw away $30 and have a sense of learning a couple of skills that will get them somewhere, and then eventually you become reliant on the hub, and then you want to invest into more things.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
You kind of answered my question, but I'll say it maybe a different way. I love the timing of this because right now I'm trying to teach my dad in his small business how to use Google AdWords and everything else, and it's just horrible. But I mean, what is your ideal user persona, specifically, in terms of business size, age, tech savviness, the budget? Who are you really trying to zero in on? Because I know you're saying, religious-based organizations, things like that. But again, talking about scale, to what Gabino was saying, like you're trying to boil the ocean almost here, going after everybody. But who are you really going after?
So I'm going after the small business person, the person that had the idea, and they're trying to execute it, and they have the idea together, but they don't know how to put it out there. So it may not necessarily, a lot of the audiences that I chose was because of my passion. So I do like helping people in underdeserved areas. I am very religious, almost to say. So I do want to help those people because I know they struggle as well, and there's nobody specifically helping them. But I think overall, it would be the small business owner that has a big idea, but they don't know how to get it to the person that they need to get it to.
I think most of my questions were around scalability too. So you have a lot of like very high touch consultative type services. Have you started building out the automated side of things yet, or do you have, and the second part of that is, have you explored like partnerships with Meta or Google to do, bring in some of their learning platforms into your automated site?
So I have started building a curriculum, and I do have about 5 to 10 courses that I'm ready to launch myself. However, I am working on, I joined a lot of organizations where I've met a lot of people in those companies that you mentioned. So I'm trying to slowly build the relationship to eventually get to that point. But I would say definitely one thing that I did realize that I wasn't focusing on when I built this was the fact that being physically with the person is like hosting workshops, doing physical boot camps does help a lot, because sometimes learning online, especially in the older age, that doesn't work out for you. So, yeah. You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Tanya. That was amazing. Please welcome me, please join me in welcoming our next contestant, Janice Wang, who is a junior studying marketing. Her business model, AI Lecture Assistant, is an AI-powered platform to help college professors improve lectures and teaching effectiveness while saving time.
Hi everyone, I just want to take the time to thank everyone for being here. This is a really special memory, and this is my proposed product, AI Lecture Assist, which I am so happy to share with everyone. And a little bit about me before I begin is I've been involved in the entrepreneurial space and the digital transformation series and the digital field. So I'm excited to present this product to you guys. AI Lecture Assist. So as a student here, I got the chance to speak with many professors here, and I got the chance to interview some of the professors here and learn a lot about where their struggles and concerns are in teaching. With that, I entered the iCorp customer discovery interviews where I got to do 20 interviews and narrow down our customer segment. I figured out that university professors are seeking assistance in teaching tasks like lecture preparation. And with that, one of the quotes that stood out to me was one by Deb Levi, who works at Cengage. She states that she can see AI being very beneficial in the higher education field for students, and they're proposing a product called AI Student Assistance. And today I got the chance to speak with Cengage again and propose my product to them. With that, the market gap is university professors looking to improve how they teach, and our value proposition includes helping professors save up to 10 hours per week, refreshing and improving lecture materials. Our logistic improvements include developing lectures or tests using AI to undercut the time at least half, and to create these materials that normally take up to 340 hours per semester to do. So how would this work? So let's meet Martha Smith, Dr. Martha Smith. She is a professor here at Seton Hall teaching nursing. She spends 20 hours of her time per week teaching 3 courses, grading papers, and preparing for lectures. With that, she spends her other half of her day devoting it to research purposes. And without AI Lecture Assist, you can see that there's just this balance of teaching and researching. And with AI Lecture Assist, it can help Dr. Smith undercut her time at least half and saving her 10 hours per week. And with that, you can see with AI Lecture Assist, there's this balance of work-life balance and teaching, research, and adding a little bit of networking and fun. And here is happy Dr. Martha Smith. So our solution includes lecture preparation, so using these AI tools like Murph AI to create text-to-voice tech, and storytelling graphics using Napkin AI. And for the assessments, we would need highly skilled advanced students in prompt engineering to create these assessments, to create questions, and converting that into a QTI file and uploading that into Canvas, which will cut their time and make it so much more efficient. With that, how will we make money? So we hope to have year 1, 100 engagements, and we hope to spend 5 hours per engagement and charging at $100 per hour, and we hope to generate a revenue of $50,000. So how are we differentiated? Well, we believe that this is a new product entering this educational field and with limited competition. So we will apply creative technology into 3 different fields. It would be voice lectures, storytelling, and assessments. With that, I understand the typical roles that are needed in the entrepreneurial space, like economic buyers, saboteurs, and buyers, which I learned in the iCorp process. So penetrating the market. So we hope to start off here at Seton Hall University, working on these projects and generating a revenue of $50,000, and by spring, summer 2025, starting off our pilot program. Then we hope to broaden our pilot program by extending consulting services and begin planning out our application. Then in 2026, we hope to expand to other schools and develop an API domain-specific LLM system. And in the future, according to Grandview Research, the global AI in education market was valued at $2.5 billion in 2022 and is now projected to grow 36% annually until 2030. And that is a huge growth because right now our economy is only growing at 3%. And with that, if we can just get a slice of this market, we can benefit from that. So our pricing and next steps. So far we have built out our website, we have completed the I-Core program, and we have written our business plan and market plan. And now we're entering the pilot pitch and working on short-term offerings and services. In the future, we hope to start off our pilot programs and consulting services and then roll it out to other universities. And by late 2025 to 2026, we hope to have our fully programmed application set to go. So here is our website, ailectureassist.com. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Great presentation. My question is on the marketing side. So who are you actually going to market to target? Is it the university? Is it the professor? Talk a little bit about your marketing strategy in general.
Okay, so our marketing strategy will include professors and students. So students for our short-term services, and for our long-term services, we hope to work with other universities and educational platforms like Cengage, McGraw-Hill, and all that.
So I guess maybe to kind of dovetail off that, who's actually going to pay for this?
What?
Who's going to be, who will actually cut the check for your services?
Educational platforms like the school or universities.
Okay,
And I have been talking to potential clients here at this school.
cool.
On the back of, first off, great pitch.
Thank you.
I think, so when I look at the sales cycle of, be it public institutions, public agencies, universities, it's not the quickest sales cycle.
Right.
Have you begun building out that pipeline of potential future universities or
Yes, we have.
customers, and then how does that really translate to the go live that's planned for end of 25, beginning 26?
Yes, so we have spoke with Cengage today. We're proposing our product to them as well, and working with schools first.
And do you have schools already in the pipeline that you've begun talking to, or what does that process look like?
For now, I'm just starting here at Seton Hall.
Cool, great, thanks.
I'm very intrigued. I have two quick questions, if that's okay. What I'm wondering is, could this potentially create a lazy professor syndrome? I know professors say that about students all the time, and I'm interested on your perspective on this.
Well, my perspective is talking to many of these professors and interviewing them. Their main struggle is keeping their students engaged in class. So with that, students will be able to learn AI, and then the professors will be able to also have their lecture materials implanted into their students.
Gotcha. So then leading, go ahead.
Yes, but it won't be like the students working with that professor that they're in class with. It'll be
Gotcha.
Yes.
And leading off of that, my question is, how do you best prepare the learning curve for professors, especially well-established professors at long-standing universities with tenure who don't necessarily have the background to understand the tech that they would potentially be using? Are you perhaps implementing a learning platform in some of this? Where's the teachability coming in here?
The teaching ability, when students have to upload their materials, the professors have to still double check it and, just double check it.
I love the joy and pride that you have. I could feel it. You got this creativity inside of you, and a lot of the entrepreneurs do here. Don't ever let that die, I'm telling you, so keep that going. I do have some skepticism, just similar to my colleague here, about the gestation cycle for closing deals. I work in finance, so it's very similar. It takes 9 months, and then the baby's born, right?
Right.
So one of the recommendations I'm going to make is clearly trying to get ahead of that. You're a salesperson of one, so it'd be good to kind of look at your plan, and you can answer that. But I think the most important thing before we get there that I'd like you to answer is there's so many subjects. I teach AI myself.
Yes.
And the DeepSeek, for example, which came to market very fast, they segregated the AI to special domains. It would be good for us to understand first what subjects you'll be focused on. It would have been good to see a prototype of that so we know it's tangible to market, and then that might be a more scalable way to, like, for example, if you did like computer science something and you could sell it to multiple schools as opposed to all the subjects. So, yeah.
So with that, that's part of our long-term application plan. We do have our long-term prototype already. We are using specific LLMs to get that like research. So for math or science or anything, it would be like Wolfram for math. We'll be pulling out data from that specific domain.
Again, my recommendation is just it would be good to get some of those prototypes out. So as a follow-up. And I'll just say this now on behalf of the judges, like we're here alums and we want to help all you guys back here, right? So feel free to reach out to us afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. That was great. Please now join me in welcoming Stillman freshman Kevin, sorry about the last name, I might butcher it, Abazeda, co-founder of All In, which is an app that was recently launched on the App Store on Apple. All In is a social media platform where poker players, enthusiasts, and fans can share strategies and host games. So come up.
Hello everybody, welcome to All In, Poker Social Media, How Poker Players Connect. So first I'd like to introduce myself and the team. My name is Kevin Abizadeh. I'm a freshman here at Seton Hall University, majoring in business and law, also partaking in the 3+3 law program, and I'm currently CMO of the company. We also have Monopol, our founder, CEO, and lead developer, a student at NJIT, majoring in computer science, and Brandon Sidor, our CFO, student at Montclair State University, dual majoring in finance and economics. They're both there on the side right now cheering me on. And together, we're willing to bring great expertise to build our platform off the ground and have a successful community for poker players alike to basically have an app where they could communicate with users like them. So, are you ready to go all in? Poker is a massively internationally played game with millions of players among the world. Yet still in the 21st century, there's no dedicated social media platform for users to connect, track their progress, and host games easily. That's where we come in. So as you can see, we have a view of our main feed on the app where users can not only post their content, but like, comment, interact, and even browse for other users, view short-form content, and view their own account. On the right, we have a recently integrated tracking progress section, which was brought up in an update not too long ago, that allows users to not only track their progress, but also view game history, view game stats, and overall just see their net profit for the year, for the month, for the week, or even just their lifetime. So what's the problem in the poker community that we're trying to solve? So as I mentioned earlier, poker is a massive internationally played game, but with no dedicated social media platform for players to connect. This causes a lack of connection among players, no easy way to track progress, and already established applications such as Bink focus heavily on game logging and tracking with no social media aspect. We're working to incorporate short-form content and integrate a social experience while also offering these key poker functionalities like tracking to make it easy for casual and experienced players to stay engaged. Basically, we're prioritizing the social aspect and bringing the social life back to the social game. So what's our target customer? So the target audience we're aiming for is poker players aged 18 to 35, mostly those already acclimated with social media, primarily college students like us, young professionals, and basically anybody interested in casual and competitive poker. So here we have another example of maybe someone call it a casual post, where the user attached their image, had their buy-in cash-out metrics with the time played, the caption, and the title. So as you can see with the buy-in and cash-out metrics, this app can not only be used for poker, it can be used for blackjack or any other card game with a buy and cash out. So what's our marketing and growth strategy, and where do we see ourselves right now and in the future? So poker has recently seen a surge in interest among younger players, and this is partially due to the fact that influencers have played a key role in attracting new players. But at the same time, we have to recognize that poker is a deeply rooted game in history and has been a top card game for hundreds of years. We're not only positioned to grow with this surge in interest, but also remain stable and have long-term success with the stability of poker being a top card game. So far, we've been capitalizing on this growth through digital marketing on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We're planning on running targeted ads via Google and AppLovin, and we have been doing, and we plan on heavily expanding with collaborating with poker influencers, poker clubs, college clubs, and casinos alike to boost brand awareness. So what's our business model, and how do we plan to monetize this world? So as of right now, All In operates on a freemium model, meaning that all core features like game hosting, social networking, posting, and forums are all free to the common user. We plan to generate revenue through paid memberships, which would unlock exclusive features, and these are set to be launched 3 months post-launch. Targeted advertisements within the app introduced 2 months post-launch, and user data monetization implemented 12 months post-launch. With all these diverse revenue streams, we're projecting a first-year revenue of around $7,100, and we're just getting started. So let's talk about partnership opportunities. So if we want to further expand on our diverse streams of revenue, we're planning on adding ads for poker-related brands within the app, where companies can come and promote directly to their target audience on our community. We're planning on adding an e-commerce section for poker gear, where users can buy and sell from companies within the app, so they could buy and sell cards, chips, tables, anything alike. We're also planning on, as I mentioned earlier, casino integration for additional revenue, additional exposure, and etc. So what's our competitive advantage? What makes us different from, say, posting your poker game on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter? So unlike these general social media platforms, All In is exclusively designed for poker players. It provides data-driven insights to personalize the user experience and enhance targeted advertising. So now I want to talk about our current progress, where we are right now, where we are so far, and where we plan on being. So we officially launched on the Apple App Store on February 20th, 2025, and within the first week, we garnered 100 plus users. This shows not only a clear demand for our app, since we had this many users first week worldwide, but also a steady growth in users daily shows that we're stable. Now let's talk about cost efficiency. It must be very expensive to develop an app, right? Well, for us, the startup costs were incredibly low due to the fact that we coded and developed the whole app in-house. We also estimate a 2-year operational cost of $950, that's accounting for server maintenance, further developments, and updates. Now, what are our next steps, and how do we plan to expand this world? So we plan to aggressively scale, specifically through growing our user base. We believe that is going to be the strongest and most efficient way for us to not only monetize the app, but to grow as a community. And our primary strategy with this is going to be advertising and marketing, whether it's digital or whether it's like the marketing campaigns that we've already run through college campuses through New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York. So with all that being said, I hope you're all very interested. I thank you all for the opportunity tonight. It was a wonderful journey throughout this whole Pirates pitch, and I ask you for any questions or comments. Thank you.
Wow. I personally love this idea. Now, it's great that you already launched, you bootstrapped it. I did this myself in coding the programs that we've done, so you're going on the right approach. To me, it's, again, all about adoption strategy. Great, phenomenal achievement in terms of the 100 users on the launch in the App Store. That's just great to start, especially if you didn't do any advertising. There's a community of poker players. I want you to look at chess.com, because I also play chess, and I play some of the cards, and I'm a gamer. You should model a little bit after chess.com, but where are you going to find the community of poker players to rapidly get on? Because I do think you got to stick with the freemium model a little longer before the 7,000 is great. That's small, but that's some revenue. I think it's going to be the revenue model. How are you going to accelerate the adoption beyond just pure advertising?
So with the freemium model, past the freemium model, we're planning on paid memberships. This would include rate limiting, meaning that basically all the free core features that are already available to the common user, we'd incentivize upgrading to the paid membership, because we'd start to add a limit to how many posts you can create per month, how many events you can host mainly, and stuff like that. So that would entice users to upgrade to the paid membership. We are also including a content creator membership, which would target directly to content creators. That way they could have better ways of directly advertising to their target market within our app. So those would be ways that we could boost the monetization of the app, because I do know it's hard for users to download an app that they're not familiar with and start paying for it. But that's
just one quick follow-up. And that's great, but my question was a little more nuanced. It's about getting more users on than the paying model, if you have a plan for that. And I'm going to throw this out there. I really love the idea. I like the fact that you went to market, you actually built something and testing it. I'd be happy to help you personally on this. So We can talk about that.
Thank you.
Please tell me how you're going to build the community, not the
Okay.
revenue. How are you going to get more users on?
Okay, so digital marketing. It's besides the digital marketing. All right. So basically, yeah. Another way for us to grow the user base is going to be just word of mouth. We've seen a lot of that so far. Basically, when a poker player downloads the app, they go to play with their friends, and they sit at the table at the end of the night. They want to post their winnings if they're proud of it, or they just want to show. Immediately, it's a growing user base with a friend group.
Also following suit, congratulations on not only doing this pitch by yourself with your fellow founders over here, but in having a visual product to show us and also for launching it, and that's a huge step, so congratulations. As for my question, I'm a big card fan. I can't say that I'm that great at it, so what I'm wondering is there an entry level for beginners? Have you possibly thought of different level markers or labels for experienced players who have kind of swept the floor with the other players as some sort of like social ranking system? And if there is a level for entry for beginning players to try and draw more people into the poker community, or is this exclusive for already members of that community?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So this gets a lot this gets confusing a lot. The best part about our app is that anyone can join, whether you're competitive or you're just starting out. For example, me, although I'm taking part in this app, I just learned how to play poker literally a month ago, and I've been enjoying the app so far. So the good thing is that whether you're just learning how to play or you're competitive, you can post your progress and show your journey. So I showed my first game, I posted that, and as I've progressively been getting better, I posted each game. I get more and more likes, I enjoy it more. So I feel like that's the perfect way for a new user, a new player, to join the app.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
My question is more around the regulatory side of things. So as you guys continue to grow and continue to onboard users and have more, whether it's affiliate marketing or ad marketing or other revenue streams, how do you find the potential entanglement of the regulatory side of things as you begin to offer more and more player-related benefits?
Okay.
Because that slowly becomes a slippery slope.
I understand.
Or quickly becomes a slippery slope, rather.
So as of right now, the good thing is that no one's allowed to actually gamble through the app, so that helps us a lot with the regulatory side of things. The app is only available to download for users 18 plus, that also helps. But in the future, going forward, we're planning on adding sports betting features where you could post your sports bets, anything with short form content. Really, we're not planning on, as of right now, we're not planning on having people directly gamble through the app or people, stuff like that. So that helps us a lot with the regulatory side of things as we grow.
Great, thanks.
Fellow bootstrapper, I love what you guys did. Like everybody else said, you built the app, you're there. So great job, guys. So one part is, when we talk about the freemium model, I wrote down here, maybe some type of like how to become a better poker player, like training online, like something within the app would make somebody like me want to pay more for it. But I'm going to go just drop an opinion here. I believe Big Brother's real. So me going, dropping money on the table, show my buy-in and my cash out, I know I just don't want the IRS SWAT team coming after me.
Yeah.
So that's just one concern I have right out there.
So the best part about that is with the tracking update. With the tracking update that we recently added where you show your net profit and how much money you've made, that's all kept private to the user. And the only way for other users to see that, so for example, if I went onto Manov's profile, I wouldn't be able to see his net profit immediately. He could send it to me if he would like, he could post it if he'd like, but it's not available to other users. That info is kept private for that exact reason. Not only the IRS, but like I wouldn't want my friends knowing how much money I've made and stuff like that, so yeah.
I just have a couple of things. I love the concept. I actually love the name. I think it's a great name. And I think my only one big takeaway was that $7,100. You got to find more ways to make money there.
Yeah.
So what are some other ways that you're thinking about driving up some revenue? I think these guys asked a lot of my questions already, but that's a big one because you got to pay yourselves too.
Yeah. So far we've been with our fastest way to grow and monetize, it's going to be user data monetization. Not only with that, but also running targeted advertisements within the app. So we've been in contact with a lot of poker clubs, and they're willing to have us advertise them within our app, and we take 10% of the profit if the user goes into their app and purchases an item on their app. And basically a lot of affiliate marketing with that, advertisements within the app, e-commerce. A lot of poker clubs and college clubs we've been working with to basically get their ads on our app, so it's targeted for the user. So there's a higher chance that the user actually, sees what the app is about. That ad is about.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much again.
Congratulations, Kevin, and great job, boys, on your business development so far. We wish you the best of luck. Next, I would like to welcome Sahil Kaloza, a graduate student pursuing an MS in professional accounting. His business idea, ANS Consulting Group, is a service to help small financial investment firms implement and comply with global investment performance standards. Best of luck.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sahil Khosla, and I'm the founder of ANS Consulting Group. We at ANS aims to provide business and technology consulting services, taxation, auditing, and valuation services. But along with that, we identified a couple of problems in the investment management industry where investors struggle with finding trustworthy managers in the investment market, which is quite a fragmented marketplace. And on the other side, where investment management firms find difficult to differentiate themselves in the competitive market. Further, misleading reporting practices such as representative accounts, representative accounts, selective time periods, and survivorship bias have further eroded investor confidence. Additionally, the lack of regulatory oversight over these issues allows these challenges to persist, further eroding investor confidence. A comprehensive solution to these issues is the GIPS compliance, which is the Global Investment Performance Standards issued by the CFA Institute USA. It is a globally recognized framework adopted in 37 countries. It enhances standardizations, improves comparability, and enhances transparency for accurate performance data. Along with that, it provides greater access to institutional capital with increased likelihood of request for proposal forms from the high net worth individuals and the wealth funds. We can make an analogy to the ISO certifications where firms are not mandatory to claim those certifications but still claim to provide a proof of quality and show a voluntary commitment to compliance. Or similarly, like professional certifications like CPA or CFA is not required to be an accountant or a finance professional, but adding those credentials enhances credibility and provides a competitive edge. That is where we at ANS Consulting steps in. We provide cost-effective resources, technology-driven, that simplify GIPS compliance for investment firms of all sizes, from small investment management firms to the large asset owners. And we provide performance verification, consulting services, and the software tools to simplify GIPS adherence. The investment management market is rapidly growing with respect to GIPS. There are 16,000 plus investment management firms, but still only 1,200 claims GIPS compliance due to lack of awareness, but majorly due to cost concerns. With respect to competitor analysis, our major competitor is the ACA group. It holds around 80% of the market share in the GIPS market, and we at ANS provides dual competitive edge over our competitors with cost-effective solutions where we will, by leveraging offshore resources, we can claim compliance at a better price as compared to our competitors, and the scalable technology, the web-based platform that we are building, which will simplify GIPS reporting and for investment firms of all sizes. With respect to customer analysis and the sales strategy, so our initial phase will target investment management firms which are seeking differentiation through ethical standards, and engage boutique investment firms who are serving high net worth individuals and the small pension funds and the institutional investors. The next strategy will be to forge strategic partnerships with public accounting firms and compliance management firms where we can fill in the GIPS services that they cannot provide due to independence restrictions. And the next step in the second phase will be to license our software to the investment management firms which already have an in-house finance team, but due to cost concern are not claiming compliance. We can provide our technology and we can pitch in for performance verification services, serving as a dual revenue model in this phase. With respect to financial forecast, so in the initial year, we are targeting $200,000 revenue and growing to $450,000 and $800,000 in FY27 and 28, while maintaining a net profit margin of 30 to 35%. Our services will be based on a flexible pricing model that scales with the client's needs based on their assets under management, number of composites, and number of funds within each composite they are holding. Our management teams comes with different range of expertise. I am a chartered accountant by profession and a CFA level 1 certified. Along with pursuing my master's at Seton Hall, I'm preparing for my US CPA and CFA level 2 exams as well. And I have 4 years of work experience with PricewaterhouseCoopers in asset management audit and financial markets valuation, specializing in private equity, derivatives, and other complex instruments. Our technology lead, Aman Singhania, he's a computer science graduate from the National University of Singapore, and he's currently a manager in the PwC's financial markets technology team. He comes with deep expertise in software development and automation. Nakul Lumba, he's an IT graduate and he's working 3 years in a fintech startups focusing based on firms that focus on building web-based and mobile-based applications for the financial services firms. Moving on to the appendix with respect to the latest development around the GIPS standards. So on the left is the FINRA regulatory notice, which is the financial industry regulatory notice, and that requires its member firms to be GIPS compliant to claim ethical standards. And on the right is the SEC adopting the modernized marketing rule for investment advisors, where in their guidance they have referenced their terms and terminologies as per to what is provided in the GIPS standards. This is the news of the last year where 5 investment advisors were charged by SEC for the marketing rule violations, which in combined penalties of $200,000, which further emphasizes the increasing importance of claiming compliance. And this is the slide for 2 examples where CalPERS, which is the California Pension Retirement System, and the STRS Ohio, the State Teachers Retirement Scheme, they both were facing public scrutiny at one time and added GIPS compliance to enhance their integrity and transparency. And over time, not even they came out of the public scrutiny, but even that led to an increase in their assets under management. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, I'm the right person to start this off because I'm in finance. I do AI. Everything you spoke to me resonated. 1,000%, there's an opportunity to offshore this and undercut it easily by 30 to 40%. So, and it's the fact that there's a monopoly here with one major firm with 70+% of the market share, you can definitely grab it. It means you need relationships.
Right.
And there needs to be some attempt to standardization. The one thing I didn't hear in your presentation, and by the way, you're completely competent, I would trust you to actually run this. So this is legit. You know your stuff. One, GIPS is not mandated. It's guidance. There's a difference, okay?
Yes.
I know because I work in the field.
Yes.
And I also work with CalPERS and stuff, so we should talk offline.
Yes.
But my thing is the fact that it's not mandated, it's optional, okay? What we need to do is to attach this to some type of additional revenue. I would like to hear you ponder the thought. You don't have to answer completely here. Could you do a AUM, assets under management fee basis? The fact that you can produce these reports and do it under cost, that they can win more high net worth individuals to make the investments into these funds. You could do a charging model that way. That would be one thing good to hear. The second thing I didn't hear, and if you could answer, is really the AI piece. You have a gentleman who does this, where they can actually look to standardize, because not all these firms report it the same way.
Yes.
That you need to create a normalized data model and then the AI on top of it. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's really what the scale is, because just doing the offshore, the AI helps with some of that. Now onshore, it's accelerating. So if you create a normalized data model, I'd like to hear that, because I think there's a tech component to make this business scalable.
Yeah, so really wonderful question. So basically, currently we are developing a prototype and we are with respect to standardization, we will be rolling out a model by the Q3 end so that we can develop and market with the public accounting firms, integrate our model into their systems, and with respect to scalability, we can target the public accounting firms clients that are already in place and they are providing GIPS verification services, and we can pitch in for the compliance consulting and the technology and do a revenue sharing model. With respect to the AUM fee-based thing, so that will be initially very difficult because AUM, we cannot charge based on the AUM. It is not that how much percentage that we charge on the AUM, but it will be higher the size of the AUM, more the fees will be. So the fees is currently, the competitors are charging anywhere around 50 to 500K based on the assets under management, the number of composites or the number of funds within each composite. We are trying to cut, as you said, 40% by max. So 25 to 30K for the ones who are charging 50K. So that is our competitive advantage with respect to the clients that we are talking about.
And last question, I'll pass it off. Do you already have names named CPA firms that you're working with so that we know you're that much closer to making that real? And if not, that's okay. But
I forgot to mention that I've already secured an offer from Deloitte in consulting to join post-graduation, and that will be one of the marketing strategy to pitch in directly to the managing partners or the directors, and one of our guys is in PwC, so we have that competitive edge as well.
I think it's also, I agree with Gambino completely. There's a lot of nuances in the space, and I think it's definitely one that can be done on a more affordable or cost-conscious basis, but also it does drive a level of integrity in the operations of the fund.
Exactly.
When you look at the split of revenue generated by the business, how does the evolution of the tech begin to outweigh or outperform the more manual services that you're going to offer, and when do you see the transition of the business go from more of a fee basis to then actually being a software solution to the big four accounting firms as the first line of commercial interactions? Talk to me a little about that service offering and how it evolves over time. I mean, you have a clear revenue ramp, but what is that split with regard to the services offering?
So in our initial year, so basically what we are targeting is to develop a prototype and target the initial small investment management firms. So even if we target 25 to 30K and 6 to 7 clients, we can easily hit a target of $200,000 without including the services that we provide for business and technology consulting, taxation, auditing, and valuation. So that is based on that. And as and when we grow to the year 2 and year 3, we license our software to the investment management firms who has in-house finance teams, and we can leverage those in-house finance teams to provide consulting to themselves. We can provide our technology, use that technology, and main target is to outreach maximum number of investment firms that are not following GIPS compliance or not towards the path of that compliance and ethical standards, to make the investment and investment management industry more compliant and make that 1,200 number grow more with respect to the 16,000 investment firms.
Are there publicly available lists or some sort of source data for investment managers that have received some type of non-compliance note or some kind of fine or some kind of,
So this is not publicly available for everyone who has been charged by SEC, but one of the examples that I showed for 5 investment firms that SEC charged, that they were not following the SEC's modernized marketing rule for guidance, but that guidance already contained that which terms, if it was talking about the related portfolios. So what is defined as related portfolios is directly they are referencing to what is mentioned in the GIPS standards. Yeah.
Awesome. Spot on. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great job. Just one question in case I missed it. So you developed the technology in-house, or are you using third-party services or outsourcing the development?
We are developing our prototype in-house, the web-based application reporting, and the other guys, Aman and Nakul, are working on it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I just have the comment at the end. I think everything came full circle. We talked about it being voluntary, but at the end you showed sort of like a case study as to the value. So I would say to keep sharing more of those, because I think it's going to convince a smaller business, not business, but a firm or whatever to do this. It's a little bit out of my league, I'm not going to lie. I'm more of a creative person, but a great presentation. Nice job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much.
Congratulations, Sahil, and thank you so much. Now it's time for our last finalist team. We have Aaron Stanway, a junior majoring in diplomacy, Maximilian Otto, a senior major in diplomacy, and we also have Carissa Krominga, who's a sophomore studying diplomacy, and finally Lucas Alea, who's a junior majoring in finance and technology, and they are the founders of GuardNet. Their idea is an innovative social media platform designed to raise awareness about human trafficking and protect people most vulnerable to becoming victims. Team, whenever you're ready.
All right, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I want to thank everyone for staying this long, as we are the last group. And we're here to introduce GuardNet, which is a comprehensive solution to human trafficking and also a awareness preventive initiative. So let's get started.
Human trafficking is one of the most overlooked issues. The news media fails to cover it, and universities fail to educate about it, despite it being one of the most tragic problems in the modern world. Nationally, there are thousands of people trafficked or reported cases each year, and globally, there are millions. In developed countries, most victims are women located in large cities, and cases are severely underreported. For our product, we identified 3 main problems. The first one being awareness, which leads to a lack of awareness, leads to a lack of solutions. We also identified a lack of accessibility. There are many human trafficking resources, but they're often overly complicated and difficult to access. And lastly, disorganization. There are so many websites to visit and so many apps to download, so we decided to put it all in one app.
So before we get into the solution, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Aaron Stanway.
This is Carissa.
I'm Carissa Krominga.
My name is Lucas Solaya. And my name is Maximilian Otto, and I'm also the Vice President and co-founder of Zero Chains Initiative here on campus, a human trafficking awareness initiative.
And that's really the story of where GuardNet came from the idea of this club, and then we decided to expand it into a nonprofit initiative. So how is our product going to help this very problematic issue? So we are going to target human trafficking at all levels. Firstly, through location and SOS emergency notification services on an app. Essentially what this will be is a panic button that a person can utilize to alert authorities that they are currently in trouble and in need of assistance. Additionally, we will tackle the awareness issue by creating a news and research section on our platform that will incorporate short form content as well as case studies and research papers, essentially educating people on how to help human trafficking victims, how to notice it, and what actually works to solve it. Moving on, a second line of defense. If you are abducted, one of the first things that will likely happen is your phone will be confiscated from you. And to remedy this, we are planning on creating a line of discrete tracking devices that will essentially act as a second line of defense if you are abducted and your phone is confiscated, where you can alert the authorities and have a GPS location tracker that will allow you to be recovered. Finally, since it is an app and it's the 21st century, we'll have an LLM that will combine our data site from all of the reporting, all of the news and research, into a very easy to use model where you can just go on the app and you can search an issue you'd like, and it will all go through a beautiful LLM that will teach you how to solve it. All right, and then there's a link to our website, and here are some other prototypes we have. We're looking to expand into a lot of different devices, including shoes and bracelets, as well as buttons. Here's a demo of our app. We are currently in beta testing through the Zero Chains Club. We have about 8 beta testers working on this app, making sure everything is working. Here's the report map where we will have all our reports that, of course, the LLM will be able to access. If you're traveling to an area, you can query that area, and it'll tell you what to look out for.
So next up, we've got our marketing channels. As you can see, we've got 3 main routes with which to develop and build our user base. First up, we've got social media. Here we plan to leverage targeted ads as well as organic content to make sure we're raising awareness for the initiative and driving app downloads as well. Next up, we plan to collaborate with universities and high schools to make sure that they're implementing GuardNet and its educational resources into things such as student orientation as well as campus safety programs. From here, we plan to empower a base of student ambassadors as well as community advocates who will make sure they're pushing the GuardNet initiative forward through peer-to-peer marketing and word-of-mouth marketing. From here, users will have the ability to access and use the GuardNet app free of charge. However, they will also be able to support us through these different routes. First of all, we've got subscriptions. Users can purchase subscriptions while they're getting extra access to different features such as location tracking services on GuardNet. Secondly, we've got wearable tracking devices, as we've passed to the judges, that they can purchase on our marketplace, which also offers you access to various different personal safety items. Finally, we've got donations, where if they're willing to, users will have the opportunity to pledge different donations of varying sizes and consistency to help us and support our cause.
Moving on to our cash flow model, we are a nonprofit, which is why we emphasize donations. We are not looking to profit off of human trafficking victims. The idea here is our startup cost is around $7,000, and if we spend all our money on advertising and the initial cost to put our app on the App Store, it will be around $1,000. So beyond all that, we'll be able to be in the green within about 6 months.
We have a number of different potential partnerships, ranging from private sector companies to government organizations to NGOs. Nadia's initiative is one that is very special to us. Zero Change Initiative has a close relationship with Nadia Murad, a Nobel laureate and activist against human trafficking, both abroad and here in the United States. We hope that in the future we can collaborate with her and her project manager, Kirby Newmer, to get this launched nationwide through a network of already existing advocates.
As for our roadmap for the future, within the next couple months, we hope to have fully developed the app and able to launch it into app stores for both iOS and Android. And then by within a year, we hope to have established a large partnership of both donors and organizations such as universities to help get this educational model out. Unfortunately, part of what makes human trafficking such a large issue is that it's allowed to act in the shadows, and that a lack of awareness around this issue is what allows it to propagate, which is why the app focuses so much on awareness, research, and education, because being aware of how it can happen to you is one of the key ways to prevent it from happening to anyone. And with that, we are open to any questions or advice from our judges. Thank you.
Great job, guys. Great presentation. Human trafficking is definitely an issue that needs some tackling. So great idea here. One question I have. So when you open it up, you showed a couple different approaches on how your solution is going to help solve for this, awareness campaigns, SOS tools, user education. Which one feature do you believe is the most important for early adoption, and how are you going to measure that?
Definitely the education and research. Like I said before, this is one of the main things that allows for human trafficking to propagate itself at such a large scale. The location services is a thing that helps individuals, but education helps holistically to help combat the problem. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, and we also believe that through these educational partnerships, going through Nadia's initiative and other existing nonprofits that are focusing on these issues and getting our name out there is where we can really attract the most users.
Can you talk a little bit about the coordination with these organizations so that you get accurate data into the platform? And I think you have it listed there for anomalies. Just about ensuring you're getting accurate data populated real time so that there's some value in this tool.
Definitely. I mean, this is a data-driven app. Our report database is going to be something a little trickier. It's going to be a lot of information all at one time. And one of the most difficult aspects about human trafficking, as I mentioned earlier, is the data is just not there. It's not accurate. And we hope that we can just offer a step up from that and have a team of interns or just us. We hope to expand the team, constantly looking at it, especially people with computer knowledge or database knowledge. But I think any improvement from the current lack of reporting is an improvement, and we hope that over time we can refine that system.
I'll pass it over in a second, but so I'm a big soccer guy, and with the World Cup coming here, I'm already getting emails about, FIFA's big on human trafficking, stuff like that. So for potential partnerships, FIFA might be one.
Thanks so much for the pitch, guys. Very interesting topic, very relevant topic that needs to have some serious focus on, similar to what Brian said. I have two questions. One, firstly, is on the data collection, more on the technical side of things, right? So these devices have what I would assume is some form of IoT device in them that's tracking and remitting data to a centralized data sharing, whether it be whatever that collection process is. How do you guys go about maintaining those devices to ensure that they continuously are operating? Because there's nothing really out there that carries a constant feed of data that has more than roughly, let's say, 6 months of viability before it has to either then be charged again, or it has to be maintained, or it has to go through software updates. What is that? That's a major problem, and I know that because I work in this space with data collection on human decision making with regard to last mile logistics right now. So
that's a great question. What we were looking at originally is in our prototype is basically modeling what the existing company Invisaware does, and they have a network using cell service towers. Again, this is not perfect, this is not global, but most of these victims are targeted in populated areas. As for the power aspect, we have been toying around with the idea of creating a piezoelectric charging system, which is essentially like, it'll act similar to like an automatic watch where the movement of the user will activate a piezoelectric switch that'll allow the battery to remain charged without needing to be opened up.
Great. Then the other question I had, just because I don't know if it's what happens after? So in the event, the unlikely and unfortunate event that something does happen and there is an abduction made, walk me through the post-abduction process and how you guys are kind of mitigating any potential negative outcome.
Yeah, of course. So it would go through a couple of steps. Part of the SOS button, you would be able to insert contacts that would be automatically notified if the SOS button is activated. We would also be able to hopefully implement a model that, based on if it is tied to, say, a location tracking device, it would automatically be able to send out a signal to local authorities based on where your tracking device was last activated or last pinged. So that would not only be able to contact individuals close to the victim, but also hopefully authorities within a close enough vicinity to be able to respond to that situation before it escalates.
Thank you for focusing on an important problem and for also bridging the gap of social enterprise and nonprofits into the pitching space, because I think they're often underrepresented and they're very important. And so for the nonprofit space, quick note, because I want you to still shoot for money. And so many times nonprofits think, oh no, I don't need any money, or oh, I can't be earning money. Millions and billions of dollars are poured into nonprofits, and it doesn't mean that they're not operating at a profit. It just means that you're willing to operate at a cost for your mission, and many times many nonprofits need millions of dollars. So don't undercut yourselves just yet. It's okay to shoot for money. I hear you on your mission of you don't want to make money off of the victim wholeheartedly, but then perhaps spend some time thinking as a team as to then who are you getting this money from, and as for your major donors, how are you building that network? You're able to speak to that if you'd like. But also what I'm interested in more specifically is sort of the movement you're building here. I think everyone in this room has heard of human trafficking. There are a lot of nonprofits that discuss it. It's an unfortunate and unsettling circumstance. So I don't necessarily think everyone's rushing at the door for a professor to teach about it. So how are you looking to build this movement where people are interested in learning about it and to gain the momentum that you would need?
So as you pointed out, there's always organizations and people talking about it, and not really anybody doing anything about it. We kind of hope to close that gap. As I mentioned earlier, we want a network of advocacy, and that's the reason we're focusing so much on student-led ambassadors, because young people, especially young women, are most at risk and most, they're afraid of this happening to them. So it makes sense to create a network between them and have these networks both be what raises awareness, but also allows people to enhance their own personal safety and propagate the conversation further. And what was the first part of your question about the funding, partnerships?
No, I meant the profitability.
Oh, the profitability of a nonprofit, that you do need money, and that you need to operate at a profit. You are willing to operate at a loss, but a nonprofit doesn't mean you're not operating for a profit. It just means you're not paying out to shareholders.
Right. I just wanted to mention that the startup cost of this is very low. Just getting the app, getting the LLM out there, and then rolling out the locational devices, which actually will not be that expensive.
Okay. Guys, you came a long way, because I remember when you did 2 of your Max Million, is it Aaron? Yeah, you guys pitched this in. You definitely took the advice of the crew with the prototype and everything, so excellent job, seriously. Great presentation, too. My chief of staff, a year and a half ago, was kidnapped from a Lowe's, and she panicked, and it was a professional ring because the guy had a fake wig and a cap and everything and a white van, but they never tracked, so it's a real thing. And I echo Karina's part, you have to put a good price point, but unfortunately, a lot of awareness can happen, but let's be honest with ourselves, it's going to be unpopular what I'm going to say, but people buy with fear. And what's going to happen is if you go just with the educational route and awareness, people, I respectfully say, they shouldn't do this, will become bored and unattracted to come back to the app. So I would be interested in hearing more. One, I think the number one feature is the locator. The discrete locator must be the first feature, in my humble opinion, before the awareness, because that's a distinguishing thing that you can bring to market for people to pay attention. And then to market that, again, I say this politely with a little fear so that people want to have that on hand. Walk me through how you thought about that so we could talk about the adoption plan.
Yeah, so the way we thought about that was through the app actually having it all integrated in one place. The demo was very quick. I apologize for that. But what we had there was the awareness and all the solution, all that stuff was right next to the store. So as a user is on the app, they're being educated, they're learning, and then right there, they have the option to buy our location devices, and in the short term, other personal safety devices such as Mace. And that's kind of how we're planning on.
I think you have to think about outside of your app. If they're not in your app, they're not going to know. So I think that's a strategy I'm looking for in case they don't know about your app.
I think that would go back to the partnerships, getting institutions involved, especially Nadia's initiative is very interested in helping to build a network of universities. And this is something, you know, we all sat down at orientation and had to watch a talk about consent. There's no reason why something like this about human trafficking could not also be integrated into those types of campus safety instructions that every single student has to go through when they enter the doors.
Excellent answer. Great job, guys.
Thank you so much. We're going to have the Audience Choice Award, and I'm actually going to take the judges to start deliberating. So judges, if you can follow me. Great. And by the way, unbelievably awesome pitches by everyone. Dean Strauss, would you agree? 100%. It's really fun with all of you. Great. Okay, judges, yeah, right now.
All right, so great job tonight, everybody. And it is now time for the Audience Choice Award. This is the $500 award to the finalist who, in your opinion, was pitch perfect. The directions for voting will be on the screen. Please access the QR code that will lead you to a Google form to fill out your favorite team. You will have a few minutes for voting. Thank you. All right, everyone, we will now be taking a 15-minute break. We invite you to join us in the faculty lounge on the second floor in room 201 for dinner refreshments while we await return of the judges to see what they have decided. When we return, we will also tell you the winner of the Audience Choice Award. Stay tuned for the most exciting part of the contest.
It's over. The pain is over. Come on. Look, happy. Like you like each other. I'm throwing it out there. Please check. Please do the check. Because if I get it wrong, I'm going to get yelled at for the rest of my life. I don't want to do it.
You know Seton Hall for basketball, but we're a whole lot more.
We have amazing classes and professors who really care if you succeed.
We are Catholic at our core, and we welcome students of all faiths.
We're close to New York City, which is great for finding internships and jobs.
The day we graduate from Seton Hall, we're ready to make our mark on the world.
Oh, and we're really good at basketball too.
As one of America's leading Catholic universities, Seton Hall is creating graduates who are ready for anything.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to work in the ICU.
To work in the big leagues.
To be a leader.
To teach special ed. To make my mark.
To volunteer in Micronesia.
To improve health around the world.
To get my master's.
I'm ready to make a difference.
To spread smiles.
To help others.
I'm ready for anything.
Seton Hall. Imagine what great minds can do.
Founded in 1856 and named for America's first native-born saint, Seton Hall is New Jersey's largest Catholic university. Located just outside of New York, our students experience life in and around one of the world's most dynamic cities. As a founding member of the Big East Conference, Pirate pride runs deep.
Come on, Elaine, let's go.
Welcome to Seton Hall.
Seton Hall University, where leaders learn.
Yeah, took a lot of shots. Okay, is everybody back? Yes. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody, for including us. We always love this time of the year. Great presentations. All the plans were very well thought out. I think for us, when we get down to judging the top 3, it comes down to the same thing we talked about last year, which is viability. And, really thinking about what kind of a need this idea or solution fills and how viable is it? Sometimes you have it built out, sometimes you don't. You're able to explain it. Some are a little bit better than the others, some are a little bit further along. So viability really comes down to that big differentiator when it comes to determining winners. I think that the easiest part of being an entrepreneur is the idea. And I get an idea a day, I think. And the second part of that is like focusing and building this plan, which you guys did a great job with today. And then after that comes the really hard part, which is executing. So that's where the viability comes in, building this plan, turning it into something amazing. That's where we all come in. We all just want to be part of that extended journey for all of you. So doors open for us to ask us questions, get some critical feedback, how to add on, how to build onto some of your ideas, all of that. So just leaving that out there. And then the fourth part of that is really just managing your success. And that's a whole other chapter, but hopefully all of you will get to that milestone at some point. So very good job. We're very excited. Great presentations, a lot of really great ideas out there. So we're very excited about our top 3, and thank you again.
All right, so we are ready now to announce the winners of our 2025 Pirates Pitch Startup Competition. And we start, Thank you, judges. And we start with the audience choice, and that is AI Lecture Assist. Okay, third place now, and it's AI Lecture Assist. And our second place, ANS Consulting. And for our first place, so the winner of the Pirates Pitch 2025 Startup Competition, All In.